Once again, a very warm welcome to all of you. Today we are going to discuss the concept which is related with the polymorphism. It is a concept basically where a class changes its behavior either at the compile time and runtime. The behavior which is changed at the compile time we oftenly call it as a function overloading, and that which is changed at the runtime we call it as overriding. So in the last lecture, previous series, we have seen that we had the discussion where a class includes another class, and that was the concept related by the inner classes. We had also seen the concept of abstract class, where a class is not a fully defined class, and today we are going to discuss the concept which is related with the polymorphism, where a class changes its behavior either at the compile time and runtime. And further we will see where a class acts as a parent and child, and that is the concept which is related as the inheritance. So in the book, as we see that the definition of the polymorphism, it is written as one interface, multiple methods. What do I mean by one interface, multiple methods? Because suppose if you take an example of person, if it is a class, a person can be in multiple roles. He can act as a doctor, he can act engineer, manager, pilot, and there can be many more. So, if I have to implement this scenario into two different overloading and overriding, this can be the representation. So here I am having the class person. It is having only one method, get job, which takes different arguments and returns different kind of objects. So passing patient, it returns with the doctor; passing drawing, it returns with the engineer; passing argument staff, it returns with the manager. So it is an example of function overloading, because there are different arguments which are passed on the same method returning on the different object. So here this is a case of function overloading because it is checked at the compile time. At the compile time, only the syntactical meaning is important. So at the compile time, this class person gets loaded into the compiler, and compiler helps able to locate these functions and these objects directly by its syntax. But in another way, there can be a case of overriding where the same method gets implemented by its derived classes or child classes. So all the child classes are derived classes. They inherit to its parents' classes. So here it is important that these classes are checked by its semantics. So here the child classes, those who are in different roles, directly inherit to its parents. So the semantic of this is important. Semantic, I mean to say that the logical meaning is important. So here in the case of function overloading, syntax is important, but here in the case of overriding, logical meaning is important. Let's see one example by which you will have a better understanding. Suppose take this as class of this, my name. I am having two daughters. One is of age 10 years and another is of age 2 years. So here I am having two methods of same name, get name, but two different arguments. One is taking the argument of integer type age 10 years and it is returning me my eldest daughter name. Another is taking two different arguments. One is the age, another is the birth certificate, and returns me youngest daughter name. So the use of these methods and the role of passing these two different parameters is because of some purpose. So the purpose over here is that I am visiting two different schools for the admission of my daughters, and one school asked me the birth certificate of the youngest daughter, and for the eldest daughter no birth certificate is required. So here the class Ratnesh is directly checked by the compiler, and the compiler is able to locate these two different objects by loading the functions directly. But here, in the case of overriding, the class Ratnesh, which acts as a parent class, is having only one method, getName, and it takes two parameters. This method is inherited by the derived classes nursery principal and CWS principal, Conference World School principal. So these are the two different schools where I have visited for the admission of my daughter. So here the nursery principal class inherits from its parent, and with the help of parent only it is able to get the name of my youngest daughter. And here with the help of parent only, another school is able to get the name of my eldest daughter. So here with the help of the parent, these two derived classes are able to locate the objects from the method. So here compiler is not directly able to distinguish the objects by only seeing the parent class. So these two objects are located by the compiler at the runtime instead of at the compile time. So here it is the difference between compiler's function overloading and overriding. So here this is a semantic, means here logical conclusion is important, logical meaning is important, but here only the syntax, compiler checks only the syntax, and if the syntax is correct based on the arguments passed, it locates the object. So here suppose if this is my collection of shape, how can we distinguish the different shapes from this collection? So here we are having the different shapes. These shapes can be distinguished by the size and sides. So by seeing the number of sides and size, we can say whether it is a circle, rectangular, triangular, or square. But how the computer and how the person has exactly figured out whether a particular shape is a circle, rectangle, triangular, or square. So here this is the approach where a human tries to find out the shape from this figure. So he first saw the shape, figured out the number of sides, what is the number. Based on the number of sides, he is able to distinguish whether it is a triangle, rectangle, circle, or what. And if once he finds out the figure, distinguish the figure, he can calculate the area. So human, with the help of human eyes, we directly figure out the number of sides, and from that sides we are able to distinguish the shape. But how the computer takes this one? So for the computer, we first design a class shape and figure out the number of sides. So these shapes, through function, it distinguishes the shapes with the help of function, and inside the function we pass the number of sides, because we have already figured out the sides. So once we have distinguished the particular shape, we can calculate the area and return it for display. So similarly, like compiler, which directly checks for all the functions. Similarly here, the area is distinguishable with the help of parameters. So this is the case of function overloading, because it is checked at the compile time. So here, this is a common algorithm where the human first saw the shapes, figured out the sides, and the each, with the help of each, he sees the number of sides and size and tries to figure out whether what kind of shape does it belong to, and once the shape is confirmed, it applies the formula to calculate the area. Similarly, the computer does the same thing, figure out the sides. A function area is written by passing the two different parameters, and by passing these two parameters is able to distinguish the area, and he writes the logic to calculate the area based on the figure type. If it is a circle, that is pi r square. If it is a rectangle, length, breadth, height, multiplication. So once the area is figure is confirmed, figure type is determined by the parameter number 0.2. So this parameter number 0.2 determines, with the help of these parameters passed in the area, it determines the type of figure. So this is the case of overloading. Here 0.2 is the term used in function overloading, because here this is the area where I am passing these two different parameters. So based on the parameters only, we check whether it is a rectangle, triangle, or what kind of figure it is, and then after we apply logic to calculate the area. So this particular section will be treated as the function overloading. Next, we are having polymorphism of two types. It is function overloading and function overriding. In the case of overloading, we are having the same functions have different signature. Like we had the get name, and we were passing two different return types, and it is two different arguments, and it is giving me the different return types. So the function name can be same, but the parameters and the return type will be different. And overloading is an example of compile type polymorphism. Already we have discussed in C, C++, Java, and Python. We have three different types of function overloading, where we can change the type of parameters. The parameters which we are passing, we can change only the type. We can change the number of parameters. We can increase or decrease the number of parameters which we are passing inside the function. We can change the order of the parameters. Means suppose age we are passing the first, then we are passing the birth certificate. We can change this order. First we can pass inside the function birth certificate, then we can pass the age. So this will be treated the case of function overloading. In Python, there is no the concept of function overloading, but there is a Python decorator which helps to provide the case of function overloading. So decorator is a kind of pattern which is provided in the object-oriented programming languages. So by using the decorator, we can add the extra functionality to a function. So if we want to design something extra with our program, we can use the decorator. So here, in the case of Python, to provide the functionality of function overloading, we will be using decorator, that we will see later on while writing the program. So now the question comes, why do we use function overloading? So why do we write the same function name, and why can't we write multiple function names, different function names? So to avoid the redundancy, if suppose we have written different function names for the same type of job, so it may have a problem of repetition of the same piece of code by different functions. So unnecessarily it will be causing ambiguity. And second criteria is that we do not have freedom to choose the name of the functions. So we cannot choose the function name very easily because the here we have the freedom to implement the different functionality by using the same function based on the parameters passed. Another use of writing the same function and implementing it through the derived classes is that only we want to expose the useful information to the outside world. So to provide a semantic information to the outside world instead of all the inner details, we prefer to use such kind of polymorphic methods. So functions that can be overloaded. What are the functions which can be overloaded? So function which is static in nature but having different input parameters, they can be overloaded. So static, I mean that they are the methods which is declared by the for the whole class. So they are the class methods. So they can be overloaded by inside the class. Like other static methods, we can overload the main in Java. So in Java we are having the main as static, so it can be overloaded. But in C++, we cannot overload the main method. But the constructors can be overloaded in C++, Java and in Python. So functions that cannot be overloaded in C++, Java and Python. Functions can not be overloaded if they only differ in return types. So they must be overloaded only if they differ in return types and the parameters which is passed inside the functions. Two methods in Java, C++, Python, if they differ only by static keyword, they will not be overloaded. So if there is any type which is declared as static and they are passed inside a function, they cannot be overloaded. The function overloading does not work for the derived class. In C++ programming language, and this is true even for the Java programming language. So in the case of overriding, it must have the exact match. Exact match means the function name, the parameters passed and the return type must be same in the base class and in the derived classes. So the classes can be different. Those classes, those who are trying to implement the method which is declared in the base class, must have the exact match of the method, but the implementing classes will be different and they will be in inheritance. And these methods will be re-implemented from parent to child class. And the overriding is an example of runtime polymorphism. This already we have discussed. And this helps in versioning of the invocation of the object. So what do I mean by versioning is, by the help of the parent class only, we let the derived class to create the object. So the derived class object is referred through the parent class. So based on the creation of the object only, we provide the versioning to the objects. So at the runtime, we decide which objects needs to be invoked or which class needs to be invoked. This is what is called as version. So in the case of overriding, we are having the derived classes. This class is also called as subclasses, which extends or inherits or overrides the base class, which is also called as superclass. So superclass methods are inherited, extended or overridden by the derived class or the subclass. Okay. And the rules for overriding: final methods cannot be overridden. Final methods are those methods which is declared as constant. Suppose a method for calculating, method for something like address. My address is something which cannot be changed. So I may declare my address as a final method. So this cannot be overridden. Static methods cannot be overridden if suppose if I am having some method which is declared as static. So since static is a class level method, so another class cannot inherit and change the method behavior. So private methods cannot be overridden. Private variables are the properties, they are accessible only within the class, and those classes who are exactly the owner of those properties. So these properties cannot be overridden by the derived classes. So if anything declared as private will not be overridden. Overriding method must return the same subtype. What do I mean by here? Same subtype is same subtype means like the derived classes, those who are going to implement the method which is declared in the base class must return the object of their type. So if you have a base class, like suppose in my case there was a parent class, so and there is a child class like nursery, school and Confidence World School. So from the parent class, those child classes trying to implement the method of the parent class. So if those methods have been implemented by the child classes, so child class object can directly invoke those methods. So those methods will have the subtype. Constructors either in C++ and Java cannot be overridden because constructors are the object type of the class, and while writing the constructor, while creating the object, constructor gets called automatically. So they cannot be overridden, but in Python it is possible by the help of the decorator. So why in Python it is possible? Because in the Python we are having a data structure which is called as symbol tuple. So whatever function we write, it maintains a key and value pair inside that data structure symbol tuple. So it sees the last function. So since it is an interpreter, so compiler start from the zero indentation and tries to find out the last function which with the same name. So if suppose the area with only a single parameter is the last one function to be executed, and just above this another function with the area with two parameters, so the Python interpreter will ignore the first one method with the two parameters and will try to find only the function with the single parameter. So it will be providing error at the runtime. So this can be implemented if we are using decorator pattern to provide the functionality of constructor overriding and function overloading in Python. Hope you would have a good understanding with this session, and we'll see you in my next session, and that next session will be a practical session where I will be trying to implement the concept of the polymorphism by using the function overloading. And have a wonderful day. See you again. Thank you.